Hey everyone, and welcome. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear isn't just another headline, it's a potential seismic shift in global power, immigration, and the very relationship between the United States and the African continent. Forget the rumors you've heard, the whispers in online forums. This could be real. For decades, the journey for African travelers to the shores of America has been fraught with hurdles. A labyrinth of paperwork, the anxiety of interviews, the financial burden of applications, and the often heartbreaking sting of rejection. Students with dreams, entrepreneurs with ventures, even diplomats on official business, all have navigated a system perceived by many as unfair and exclusionary. The endless background checks, the fingerprinting, the vague denials. It's a narrative etched in the experiences of countless Africans. But the winds of change, or perhaps more accurately, the strategic currents of global politics, may be about to carve a dramatically different path. Whispers from within policy circles suggest that 2025 could mark a turning point. A bold, some might say audacious, move by the United States to grant visa-free access to citizens of not one, not two, but 10 African nations. Imagine, no more grueling consulate visits, no more mountains of forms, just a passport, a plane ticket, and the open skies leading to America. Sounds revolutionary? It is. And when you delve into which 10 countries are allegedly on this list and, more importantly, why, you'll understand why this potential policy is already igniting conversations and sparking debate across the globe. Let's dive into the 10 nations poised to potentially rewrite the rules of travel to the United States. Each country's flag appears as it's mentioned, alongside brief, evocative imagery. 1. Nigeria, the sleeping giant of Africa, its economic engine, its cultural powerhouse. For too long, Nigerians, despite their education, English fluency, and tech prowess, have faced some of the harshest U.S. visa restrictions. But the narrative is shifting. America is now eyeing Nigeria as a strategic linchpin in tech innovation, energy resources, and regional defense against the growing influence of China. Silicon Valley's gaze is turning towards Nigerian startups, and military ties are strengthening in West Africa. This visa-free potential could be America's strategic maneuver to lure Nigeria's brightest minds, a Trojan horse in the competition for influence. Yet, concerns are bubbling about the potential strain on the U.S. system and the implications for America's own labor force. Meanwhile, the irony isn't lost. Nigerians might soon stroll into JFK, while Americans still require a visa to enter Nigeria. A double standard or a calculated strategy? Nigeria stands at the potential epicenter of this immigration shakeup. 2. Kenya, the diplomatic heart of East Africa, a steadfast ally in a complex region. Kenya has long been a bedrock for American military and intelligence operations, a hub for humanitarian efforts. This potential visa-free access isn't just a thank you. It's a strategic play to counter the influence of China and Iran in East Africa. Kenya becomes the bait, a crucial partner in a larger geopolitical game. However, Kenya's youthful and ambitious population raises concerns about potential economic migration disguised as tourism. Is this a silent amnesty, critics ask? And in Kenya, a mix of excitement and apprehension lingers. Will this be an opportunity or a drain of their most talented individuals? The question of who benefits most hangs heavy in the air. 3. South Africa, a nation balancing its allegiances, a key member of BRICS yet with deep ties to the West. Granting South Africa visa-free access would be a historic move, potentially aimed at weakening the BRICS alliance and solidifying pro-Western bonds. The U.S. sees South Africa as a gateway to the continent, a financial and logistical hub, a cultural influencer. Hollywood loves it, Wall Street invests in it, and Washington wants it closer. But this comes at a volatile time in America. with racial tensions and immigration debates reaching a boiling point. Granting unrestricted access to a nation still grappling with its past and facing its own xenophobic challenges will undoubtedly ignite controversy. Yet, South Africa possesses what America needs: advanced infrastructure, legal stability, and a burgeoning black middle class aligning with American consumer values. This isn't just about tourism, it's about political power. 4. Ghana. Often lauded as a beacon of democracy and peace in West Africa, a nation radiating Afrobeat rhythms and Pan-African pride. Ghana's potential inclusion in this visa-free program seems like a natural fit, yet it's not without its critics. Some view this as America hand-picking favorites, reinforcing a good African narrative to serve its own geopolitical ends. As African-American tourism and cultural repatriation gain momentum, this could be seen as a symbolic nod to the diaspora. However, the practical implications are significant. What happens if a surge of Ghanaians seeks opportunities in the U.S.? How will overstays and potential asylum claims be handled? The line between symbolic diplomacy and real-world migration is about to blur. 5. Senegal. A stable bridge between Africa and the West, a long-standing ally of both France and the United States. Visa-free access would elevate Senegal's role as a diplomatic gateway in a turbulent West African region, a soft power counter to rising tensions in neighboring Mali and the growing influence of Nigeria. But beneath this veneer of partnership lie potential challenges. High youth unemployment and existing migration networks in Senegal could lead to a surge in undocumented migrants seeking family reunification or overstaying tourist visas. Some analysts suggest this policy is less about friendship and more about securing access to vital resources like fishing rights and mining deals, as well as strategic military positioning. 6. Rwanda. A nation that has risen from the ashes of a horrific past to become a symbol of efficiency and strong governance, often dubbed the Singapore of Africa. Its clean streets and disciplined approach have garnered international attention. This potential visa-free access appears to be driven by optics. Rwanda projects an image of modernity and stability, attractive for investment in a chaotic world. However, human rights organizations voice serious concerns about authoritarianism and the suppression of political freedoms within Rwanda. Opening borders to a nation with such a record raises ethical questions and concerns about the true cost of stability. 7. Uganda. A nation often in the headlines for its controversial social policies, yet now potentially on the cusp of visa-free access. The rationale? Uganda's close cooperation with the U.S. on counter-terrorism efforts, regional peacekeeping missions, and intelligence sharing. This strategic alignment seems to outweigh concerns about its domestic issues in Washington's calculations to maintain influence in the Great Lakes region. However, this decision is likely to spark significant backlash. Progressive activists in the U.S. will be outraged by the prospect of rewarding a country with discriminatory laws, while conservatives will question the wisdom of granting such access to a nation with perceived high migration risks. Uganda's inclusion could be one of the most explosive elements of this potential policy. 8. Morocco. A strategically vital nation bridging Europe, the Arab world, and sub-Saharan Africa. Its potential inclusion in the visa-free plan is heavily influenced by its growing cooperation with the U.S. and Israel, a reward for its normalization deal, and a move to solidify America's foothold in North Africa. However, this decision is not without its complexities. Morocco's strained relationship with Algeria and the ongoing dispute over Western Sahara could be exacerbated by this move, potentially drawing the U.S. into regional conflicts. It also sends a clear message to other Arab states: align with Washington, and rewards will follow. 9. Botswana. A quietly stable and often overlooked nation with good governance, low corruption, and an economic model aligned with the West. Rich in diamonds and wildlife, with burgeoning potential in clean energy, Botswana's potential visa-free access could be the U.S. acknowledging its positive trajectory and signaling support. But beneath the surface lies a strategic imperative: securing access to Botswana's crucial mineral corridors before China can solidify its influence. This isn't just about tourism. It's about securing vital resources in a competitive global landscape. 10. Mauritius. A seemingly idyllic island nation that holds the secrets of the wealthy, a tax haven, a hub for shell corporations, and a rising tech center. Visa-free access for Mauritius isn't just about attracting tourists, it's about attracting investment. The U.S. potentially aims to transform Mauritius into the new Cayman Islands for Africa, a gateway for capital. This move is less about migration and more about money, and when money is involved, the rules of the game often change. Underpinning these potential changes is a rumored new policy, the Continental Strategic Visa Waiver Initiative. Crafted by the U.S. State Department and Homeland Security, this initiative reportedly allows countries with strong bilateral ties, a record of traveler integrity, and strategic alignment with the U.S. to bypass the traditional visa process. While framed as modernization, it appears to be a powerful geopolitical tool, dictating who gains the privilege of free movement based on cooperation with American interests. This isn't just about visas. It's about a vision. A vision where Africa is not overlooked but strategically engaged. Where borders open not out of altruism, but out of calculated self-interest. Where mobility becomes a tool to forge alliances and project power. While headlines might simply announce visa-free access for 10 African nations, the underlying currents are far more complex. Who truly benefits? Who might be left behind? How many will celebrate? And how many will protest what they see as a dangerous experiment or a reinforcement of unequal global dynamics? This is more than just news. It's a potential reshaping of the world order. So what can you do? First, share this video. The full story might not be what mainstream media focuses on. Second, comment below. What do you think? Is this the right move, a strategic necessity, or a risky gamble? And finally, subscribe. In a world saturated with noise, we aim to bring you the uncomfortable truths, the stories that truly matter. Stay aware, stay sharp, and stay vocal. Because when policies are forged behind closed doors, it's our responsibility to shine a light. Thanks for watching.